Welcome to Member Spotlight with the Winthrop Chamber of Commerce. I'm Diana Aliberti, Executive Director.
I'm Sheryl Queen, Treasurer, and we are here with
John Munson, owner and founder of the Beacon Studio.
Welcome, John. Excited that you're here with us today.
Happy to be here.
Oh, it's awesome. So there's lots to cover, so we're going to just dive right into it, right, Sheryl? Okay, good. Tell us a little bit about, I guess first, the name change of your business.
Yeah, I've been kind of stewing on this one for a while, and I have had a little bit of an evolution. I started off as Beacon Photography because that's what I did, as I took pictures of people, and then people naturally asked if I could frame their photos, so I ended up doing Beacon Photo and Frame, and then it became such a popular service, and I stopped doing as many photos, so it became Beacon Framing. And then I actually started doing gallery services representing different artists in town, like Frank Constantino. And so I became Beacon Gallery, and then I was like, oh my God, too many names. So I was like, what's one name to cover them all?
Right.
And I've been calling my studio the Beacon Studio since the beginning, because it is a studio. Right. It's a creative workshop. We make things. And so now it's the Beacon Studio, illuminating your space.
Oh, I like that tagline.
I like that.
I think that's really important because I think as consumers, sometimes we think, oh, he does X, Y, Z, or she does X, Y, Z, and then there's also all these other little things or add-on things, great services that you provide, and we need to be reminded of that. So that's really why we wanted to start off with your name change.
I appreciate that, yeah.
Yeah, I think that's awesome. So how did you, let's backtrack though to your days of college, and you got out of college, and what
Barely.
did you think you were, at that point, what did you think you were going to do with your life?
I wouldn't have guessed this. If someone had told me I was going to own a frame shop and a print shop and be a photographer, I would have chuckled. I would have laughed. But it has been super fulfilling. I love it. I'm creative every day. I surround myself with incredible employees that are very optimistic and super creative themselves. And then I also have the privilege of having customers walk in to preserve and embellish their most important, cherished possessions. So it's a pretty sweet gig, I have to say.
I bet you it's super fun, just kind of like seeing what comes through the door, like on a daily basis, right?
It is. We love a good challenge. We like a nice change of pace. We like anything that makes people happy makes us happy. So it is a treat. And it's usually, every day it's pretty different, which keeps it fun.
John, what's the most interesting thing you've ever had come through the door?
Wow, we've had quite a few, so it would be hard to give it like the top, but I don't even want to tell you some of the things that have come in. Honestly, but we've had lizard skins, snake skins. We've had baseballs that have been signed. We've had jerseys that have been signed. There was someone that brought in their placenta, and that was colorfully and artfully done. We had, here's one of, probably this is one of the most interesting. There was a great story by someone who lives in town, and his grandfather was in the World War II, and they were coming to save, they were coming to save, they were in Germany coming to save people.
Wow. And
they were there, and an SS soldier took a knife and tried to stab the American soldier. The American soldier ended up winning that battle and kept the branded blade, the dagger.
Oh, man.
And so kept that. We framed that along with the actual thank you from the government for your service kind of thing, and we put it together, the dagger and all the accolades the soldier received. Now that grandson has it in his home, and it's like this meaningful story of that person, his grandfather could have died but didn't, ended up so I thought that was pretty touching and pretty incredible.
It is kind of cool. You definitely wouldn't want to get the DNA sampling on that, because that's like a sad story too.
Yeah.
Here's what you lost. we can't do that, but that's kind of cool though. That's really
so many great
significant,
stories.
Right?
Yeah.
Yeah, and we're very appreciative of those who have served for sure. So
Absolutely.
we want to keep that in mind as well. What do you get most excited about? I know it's very serendipitous when people come through the door, and you just never know what you're going to get like that, right? So What else do you think?
I think one of the things that doesn't go often said, but is really part of the service that we provide, is when people walk through the door, it isn't just about what frame do you like, what color do you like. It's literally telling the story. And that story sharing is really what makes it kind of like a communal experience where people are really, I mean, you came in and told us the story of when he proposed and how the whole thing happened.
Yeah.
And I mean, I feel like connected with you. I feel like that we have a bond now, and it's and so it's not just about making something look pretty or protect it. It's about having an experience now that you have shared. And so I feel as though when this piece of art that you put back in your home that you love, it gives back. And so I think that's kind of one of the things that I cherish the most, is that when people come through the door, I get to share their experience with them. And even when I'm not there, like my employees, like Nellie, she's an incredible, like, patient and good listener, and she really does enjoy that process too, that collaboration. So it's not just about like the colors, et cetera, but it's understanding you as a person and what is motivating you. So I actually do. I really feel as though that's important.
I think that's great, and I think we're very appreciative of the services you provide in a community, because I think it's a small town. We're here supporting small businesses, and then sometimes we forget about things we have, or we need a gift or whatever, and we're kind of like, oh, let me just run down there and do that. So I think we should see some of the things that you have here with you today, John.
Okay. I brought a bunch of examples because this is usually what happens. I mean, typically people come in and get something framed. They say, I have this diploma, or I have this object, or this print that I want you to frame. So I usually, this is a diploma frame. I don't know if you guys, this is actually my diploma. I graduated from University of Michigan back in '95, barely. No, my freshman year was rough. But
Barely.
I finished strong. I really did. I finished in 4 years, and so someone might come in and ask to get their diploma. And this is the diploma season. I mean, people are graduating left and right. And congratulations to all those of you who have just recently graduated from college and are moving on. And soon to be graduates of Winthrop High School. But this is an example where, we deck it out with something, a little shiny. We try to work with the colors that the diploma has. So if it's from BU, we'll incorporate maybe a red trim, a mat board here. This diploma costs, I'm not going to say the price, but a lot less than the actual degree. So the very least you can do is make sure you frame your diploma so that it's not sitting in some cupboard somewhere, some attic. Put it on the wall because you spent a lot of money to earn it, I'm sure. So that's a typical custom frame. We make sure that the glass is protective so that the way it looks now is the way it will look forever. It literally blocks like 99% of the UV rays, which you can't necessarily see. But so this is another one, an example of someone coming in and saying, can you print something? This is my daughter Sophia when she was, I can't remember exactly how old. This is just a print and frame. So we actually print. We do really high quality printing. We do it with one of the best printers on the planet. We actually got several printers now. And so, and you don't always have to have it matted. The mat is actually not just for looks, it is for protecting. So when you actually have a photo touching the glass, the moisture can actually go through the glass and it actually can ruin the photo. You've seen those where your photo sticks to it,
Right.
and I have one with my mom and I that's ruined because of it. So we try to do that, we try to avoid that. That's what the mat board is for. But sometimes if you just want the image, what we do is we create spacers, and you can actually see the little spacers that separate the glass from the picture.
Right.
So that's this one. So that's a print and frame. We have a lot of varieties of glass too. It can get complicated. We try to simplify the process. That's why coming into the studio, we try to simplify it. We don't want to overwhelm you. We can usually tell from what you're saying and what you're bringing in what you want.
I love the black and whites. That really became very popular.
It's
And
one of the most classic timeless
I
combinations.
love it. It is
Yeah.
priceless. And I like the black and white without the matting because I feel like it doesn't really need that.
Yeah.
And I think that speaks to your talent too, because you really what I have been told is you really want to see the picture, not so much the frame, right? So the frame shouldn't be
Right.
like the star of the show, right?
Exactly. I use that phrase too. You don't want your art to be overwhelmed by the frame.
Right.
The star of the show should always be the
Right.
art that you're bringing. And the art can be anything from a letter from your mom, or it can be anything. Art is basically, can be a photo, it can be an object. It really
Right.
can't, it doesn't have to be. So yeah, your art, your framing should make it look better, but not take over. Here's an example where we have a lot of different things. This is my dog Lola. She's obviously passed away. She was the best dog on the planet. I love her dearly. But she can actually, I don't know if you can see this, but she's smiling in that photo. She's literally smiling. Dogs can smile. But we got a paw print, we got a little tuft of her hair and her collar. And,
That's cool as heck.
and so we put this collage together, and it's just a nice homage to her. But this is a combination of print and objects. It's a collage. And so, this isn't taking over the frame, but it actually does kind of tell you how much we love her because of the ornate frame.
That's sweet.
And the double mat, which is complicated. But we actually now have what humans typically can't do, is cut circles and shapes that are very tricky. We now have a computerized mat cutter in addition to hand doing it. So we can do things that a lot of frame shops can't.
I like that a lot.
That's great.
Yeah, I love this. We have it right in our living room. We talk to Lola all the time.
I think the other thing that you did for me was to take a photo of family members, and you were able to make prints of that.
Yeah.
So that's really a cool feature too. Like, we have these photos. Sometimes we want to, give them out to family members, but we don't want to take the only copy. And I
Yeah.
think that's a swell thing.
It's funny how it went from photography to framing, then to printing, and printing has now become a real focus in the business because it's kind of its own skill set.
Right.
And so what we've done is we've gotten some of the best equipment, and we're now getting larger equipment so that you can go bigger. And so one of the things that a lot of people don't know that we do is, in addition to printing photos, which we did for you, but we also can print on canvas, which the fancy word is giclée. And I think that giclée canvas printing is it's a sweet thing because you don't have to put it behind glass. You can feel, it's really, it's accessible. It's cost effective as well. It's beautiful, and you don't have to all you have to do is occasionally dust it, and even that you don't have to do. So it's a really smart way to go about it. And with our equipment and our talented staff, we can scan photos and paintings and just about anything now and reproduce it on canvas. And I think when the word giclée is used, it's actually referring to an archival method of printing on canvas, and everything we do is archival. Our inks are archival. That was a gallery wrap. So you're literally, I don't know if you want to show the back of that, Sheryl?
Sure.
Basically, we're just stretching it on wood.
It has all the little, what's the word for it? Nuances that the real picture had.
Yeah.
It has everything, like the little, I don't know how to explain that. The
Pixels?
graininess, yeah, and it's really striking.
Well, that happened to be scanned by the Library of Congress, and that actually was a scan of the original Mona Lisa. Library of Congress is one of the government services that we have paid for with our taxes, but there's a lot of things out there that are available for prints, to get those high-res scans. Every map that's ever been produced, almost every map. I mean, it's amazing what's available out there. So one of the things that we do as a gallery service is, if let's say you're like, I'm feeling like I want something to remind me of the Navy. Well, you wouldn't believe how much the Navy has for images that are available to all of us. So I actually had a great customer the other day. He came in, he was a medic in a submarine and was allowed to go out on the submarine and photograph with his own camera the other transports, the aircraft carrier, the battleship, and the fueling. And he was probably 5-10 feet off the water's edge in this ocean as they were refueling. And he brought it in, and we have it all decked out. We got a metal plaque, the whole nine. So it was a great story. And being that it was Memorial Day yesterday, I feel like it's an important thing to mention. But in some of these things, you can find a lot of gold things. That was a giclée that was just stretched on wood. Now these over here, or that one over there, is a painting that has been framed. And so basically that's just another way to finish it. You know, some people feel like that gallery just stretched around wood doesn't look finished. Well, you can do this where you frame it inside of a floater frame, and that is quite beautiful and elegant, and we do that as well. So
I like that.
there isn't really much that we don't frame nowadays. We pretty much do the stuff that's hard to do. A lot of frame shops lean on us, believe it or not. A lot of galleries, some museums. We just did a project for the Danforth Museum. We're doing a lot more projects for businesses, believe it or not. And but we've been doing this high-end work that a lot of frame shops can't do because we do the printing, we do the scanning, we do the restoration work.
Right.
You know, I don't know if you guys have ever had me do restoration work, but we've been doing that for years. So in college, I learned how to use Photoshop. Like
That's where it all began.
it did begin.
See, you really did learn something.
I was an English major,
I know.
and I loved physics. So this was not in my wheelhouse, was not in the plan.
I think Steve Jobs said something like that. He ended up in, I think it was like a class for typing or something, and it led him down the road of being able to develop fonts. So you're in good company. I got to look up that story. You just kind of reminded me of that. But you have some things that are going on right now in terms of trends and shifts in the market. Like what are you seeing in terms of challenges, or what do you see for this year?
Well, what's funny is that in photography, it was like the trend was like everyone's got a phone, everyone's a photographer, you know, and so it became like there's no point in hiring a photographer. And then there was wedding photographers that were doing weddings for $500. It's like, that was, you know, it's a whole week's worth of editing to do a wedding.
Right.
So to give it away for $500 is like crazy. And so I saw the writing on the wall. Plus, it was not exactly great for a married family man lifestyle to be being a wedding photographer. You're always gone when you're supposed to be home. So I kind of shifted gears on that and became more of a studio guy, printing and framing, and it's worked out. I still do some photography, and a lot of times when people ask for family portraits, I usually hand it off to Amy Honan Rodriguez. There's several photographers that I lean on to do that. But as far as the trends that are happening now, there is a new trend that I'm on top of, which I love, and that is wall coverings. So wall murals, wall coverings, there's different names for it. Some people call it super graphics. Have you guys seen any of these? You walk into like a restaurant or a hotel lobby, and from floor to ceiling, it's like a mural.
It's a picture, right?
It's a
that's
scene
cool.
somewhere. It's a gigantic map or what have you. So what it does is it creates instant vibe. It creates an atmosphere. Like, so you put 20 frames in a setting, in let's say a restaurant. Like you go to the old antique table.
Right.
It was straight frames, like everywhere, and it felt cool. It felt like antique-y. It felt like, you know. This wall decor trend with wall coverings is kind of in that same vein. It has instant impact. It has a big splash, and we're doing it now. And so a lot of times what you do is you have a variety of different techniques, but you can do the peel and stick. So you print it. So let's say you have a 20-foot wall wide and a 10-foot tall. You print them in strips of 3 feet so that you can hang them, lay them flat, align the next one with the laser or what have you if you're doing it professionally. I have several installers and do it myself as well, but and then you basically have these peel and stick where if you ever change your mind, you peel it off. You haven't ruined the wall.
That's awesome.
And they last like 8, 10, 12 years. So remarkable, cool new technology. We have a new printer that does UV ink, so it instantly dries. It doesn't have any kind of toxicity that where you're breathing it or anything like that. It's instantly usable, and we're pretty psyched about it because a lot of businesses want us to do that too. I've been hired by some of these companies to, like, you know, it's for business. It's a whole different ballgame. You talk about home, you're trying to like create something cozy, something like, you know, familiar, and something that evokes some emotion for you. A business has different objectives. You know, sometimes it just wants to be like make the employees feel comfortable,
Right.
you know, or make them feel like they're in somewhere active, or even maybe they want to educate their own employees, you know. But we're doing one right now. I actually just finished a project or design. I have to get the approval before I can print, and we're doing a case study on the elevator doors that they just launched. They just finished this major clinical trial, and they want to educate their own employees as they're going up and down the elevators to say, this is what we just pulled off. We're making change. We're helping people live healthier lives.
That's great.
So pretty cool stuff.
Yeah,
that's
I
really
like I
neat.
like that idea, you know, because you know things change and you don't want things to look dated. So if you can
Right.
peel off and put something else in that spot, you can be, I think, avant-garde with it, right? Because you can have something like the latest and the greatest, especially if you're a restaurant and that's what you want to showcase. Who would be a good referral for you, John? You know, how could we support you that way?
I appreciate that. I really do. Definitely could see all kinds of homeowners looking to, you know, update the decor in their homes. People that just recently graduated are an ideal, you know, just don't put that diploma somewhere, shove it in a corner and have it getting banged up and wrinkled. Before it gets banged up, get it framed. You know, it's not that expensive and you keep it forever. You know, as far as businesses, if you have business colleagues that want to have something different, we do have this ability to present a lot of different images because there's such a reservoir of great images out there that can be either purchased, rented, or just downloaded for free because, you know, they're
Right.
available. You know, there's for businesses, anyone looking to upgrade their environment, we can also do. Your ice cream shop, I remember that was such a cool experience that we did for your ice cream shop.
Oh, the free ice cream day.
Yeah.
That was 17, 18 years ago.
Wow,
Was it really?
Yep.
Wow.
that's longevity.
Yep.
Yeah.
That was a great, and people came when we moved locations. I had put it out there, anybody who's on one of those frames to come in and pick it up. And people came in and they picked them up and
Oh,
they're
that's
gone.
awesome.
Yeah.
Sheryl had a free ice cream. I think it was like one of your openings or like for the season or whatever.
Yeah, it was during nor'easter in February.
That didn't stop us from eating ice cream
No, it
at all.
didn't stop the town of Winthrop from eating
I
ice
love
cream
that.
that day, but it was free ice cream as long as you didn't mind being part of our artwork on the walls. And John came in and took pictures of folks eating ice cream, and then it was part of our artwork for all the years that we were there. Yeah.
But it looked cozy. It looked comfortable. It made you
Yeah.
feel like you were at a neighborhood
Right.
ice cream parlor that you felt comfortable at.
Yeah, and ironically, for years and years and years down the road, you would see somebody bringing in their children and saying, "Look, there's Mommy in high school." It was hysterical.
Oh my
because,
God!
Yeah, years
As
later,
time went on, you could actually see. Oh
you
my
could see the
God.
progression
Isn't
of.
that funny?
Yeah, it's funny, but
Yeah.
it was cute. It was great.
I think that's good in terms of interior design too. You have all these nice things. It really does add to, you know, making your home, you know, look more valuable too, right? You know,
mean,
or your business, right?
Yeah, I mean, if for a homeowner, I think that, like my wife, she is the queen of interior design. She's always changing something. For the longest time, she wouldn't even let me put my own, like a frame up or my own
You're not
photos
allowed.
up. This is my home too.
We have those
That's what a
discussions
man
in our
cave
house,
is for. But it does. It makes a huge difference. I feel as though that as time has gone on, I feel as though there are some things that every family should have. And I think that a family portrait is hard to get, I will admit. And we struggle with it, and I finally gave up. I stopped trying to get a family portrait. So what I do is I just try to get a good headshot of every
that's
person
smart.
in the family. And then, you know, you can swap them out. And a lot of times what you can do is just put the new one in and keep the old one in there.
That's
and
so
before
smart.
you know it, you literally have a timeline of someone's life.
I love that.
And so I think that's a must-have for every family. You know, people that make you happy. But at the end of the day, I think that what I really love about what I do is that after they've taken that frame or that wall covering, whatever it is, it's still given back years later. So if you walk by that portrait of your daughter when she was, you know, like this, every time I go by this, I see it and I smile because it actually gives me a little perk of joy. It makes me happy. Those were the good old days, you know, and it gives me, so if it's giving me a little perk of happiness or joy,
Yep.
that is well worth the money. I know framing is not a cheap sport, but it is so worth it in the end if you're feeling better as a result
Yeah.
of reminding yourself of what makes you happy.
You capture in a moment of time.
It is.
That's exactly
Right,
what it is.
right.
It is. It's framing time.
So I would like to lose like 50 pounds and just capture that moment. And then whatever happens after
We
that
have
happens.
Photoshop. We have
Yeah,
Photoshop.
And we have editing.
Yeah. John, tell us where you're located.
I'm across the street from WCAT at 196 Winthrop Street.
Good.
And very happy to be there. There was a possibility I was considering moving, but I'm staying put for at least another year or two. And I think that it's a great central location, good parking. And you know, maybe down the road we change retail location, but it does take quite a bit of equipment to be a frame shop and a print shop. So we do need a good amount of space, and so for right now we're staying put.
That sounds great. Well, thank you so much for joining us today. This was an amazing session with you, John, at Beacon Studio. So make sure that you do check out his studio. And you are super creative, so that's the last thing I want to leave everybody with that's watching this, is that you can provide those solutions and you can think outside of the box. So I think that's worth its definite weight in gold. We are very fortunate to have you here in Winthrop, and we'll be back after a quick break.